Nah. It'd be too high. It's too high. Just be all up in your nose and shit. Yo, we back in this thing, man.
We got Kat and Michael Ealy joining us today. Kat's a hell of a cook, so we about to make it pop. Let's get it.
Shit, me.
Waiting for Kat to join.
Davide.
What up, what up?
I got robbed in that last game, Davide.
All right, Khatira's here. All right, it's about to go down. Thank y'all for joining us. Any questions y'all got, leave in the comments.
Let's get it.
Yeah. What's up, what's up?
Nothing. How are you guys?
Everything's good, everything's good. Where you at right now?
At home in my dream kitchen.
Amazing.
That's lovely. It's
Yes.
a blessing that you got a dream kitchen.
I do. We tore down this house 2 years ago and I built my dream kitchen.
What about it makes it your dream kitchen? Like what specifically did you need to have in the kitchen for you to operate the way you need to operate?
You know what's funny is I don't really hear. I'm gonna have my husband hold the phone while I still chop some garlic. You could say hi.
What up? What up?
What's good, what's
Money
good?
Mike.
All right.
How you living?
Hold on. Here she goes. All right, now she's talking. There we go.
I want to be able to see them.
Oh, okay. So then we gotta do
it
this, right?
this way, yeah.
Okay.
Nope, you did that. There you go. Just do it this way.
Okay.
I think you could cook in any kitchen, to be honest. I think, some of my best meals in this kitchen prior to the renovation, and that was an IKEA kitchen. And I think that my whole life I've lived in apartments. I've never lived in a home until I moved in with Michael. And it didn't matter. But once the renovation was a talk and I actually was able to get what I wanted, I did realize that I wanted to cook a lot more. Like I wanted more people to come over. I wanted to host more. And I don't know if that's a psychological thing or what, but I love my sink. I custom made my sink because I am a tornado in this kitchen when I cook, so I make a huge mess.
Let me see the sink.
Massive.
Oh, the grates.
Oh, wow.
And I love, because I'm from Afghanistan and I've lived in India, I cook with a lot of spices and I hate constantly looking for them. So I wanted a spice rack.
Nice and organized with the labels and all that.
Very
Labels
good.
out.
And I don't believe in microwaves. So I wanted a steam oven and that's what I got.
Oh, your shit is
Oh,
official.
you really about this life.
So I'm able to steam my leftovers because I'm also the queen of leftovers.
So what are you preparing today?
Today, I gave you a long list of things to make. You chose this dish. I'm making a shakshuka and braised greens.
And people say you're famous for these braised greens, right? They're pretty internationally known.
Yeah, I notice I get a lot of love when I make these greens. And what's funny is my first time ever having greens was in New Orleans, and it was completely different than the way I do it. It was very flavorful, and I think the one I had smoked turkey in it because I don't eat pork, but they make them with ham hock, and I just realized that I don't think you need meat. So I make mine vegan.
Plant-based way.
That's what's up.
And I
appreciate
love it.
that for sure.
So the braised greens is a popular dish with Michael and a lot of my friends. And the shakshuka is a dish that my mom used to make growing up. So it holds a very special place in my heart.
Lovely. I'm excited to learn something.
And we met through our friend, our mutual friend Melina, when she was cracking the whip for her Queen and Slim party. You were helping organize, and thank you for bearing with my terrible communication skills in terms of what was needed in the kitchen and all of that on the ghetto gastro side of things. But that's how we connected. And you told me a little bit about your culinary journey and why food was so important to you. Do you mind sharing that with the people?
Yeah, but first I want to give a little shout out to Melina because not a lot of people in my life cook. I have so many friends that are chefs, but people that are not chefs, they're not cooks in my life. And Melina is probably top 3 friends that I respect her cooking. And then there's my girlfriend Ainsley, who's a hell of a baker. And I think you know Wes.
Yes, I met Wes. I met Wes through my man Will. And we went
Yeah.
out, we partied with Chris and Beth and some other friends.
So Wes, Melina, and Ainsley are really the only people that like I'm like blown away. And then like the 2 people that have really impressed me during this isolation, who I never knew could cook, but now I'm like in awe, is my friend Shayla and our friend Shiona.
Oh, okay.
We've been waiting for Melina and Shiona to get up on episodes too.
They've been playing a lot of games. They're supposed to be like episode number 3. We're now on like episode 30.
Yo, Shiona is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Tell me about it.
And she's really like helped me through this isolation because she included me in a 21-day meditation group.
Oh, the Deepak Chopra, the abundance joint?
Yeah, and
it's really good, right?
It's so, my God, like there are days where she's put me in tears, and there's days where I literally come downstairs and what do I do to you?
You just hold me.
I just hold them.
Yeah.
Like just full of gratefulness and appreciation. And she did that. Like she really centered me when, you know, I battle with a lot of anxiety, and that meditation is like, has saved me in a lot of really dark times in my life. And Shiona now holds a very special place in my heart because of that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You touched on that. Like usually later in the episode, we talk about the different self-care practices, but yeah, that Deepak Chopra 21-day abundance. I started my year off, and I found myself, I've done it like 3 times this year already, just because this has been my favorite meditation.
Yeah, I mean, I really got into meditation because of Melody. She was my like entry to that world. And then my really good friend Theo, I hired him while I was going through postpartum depression, and he came to my house for a week and like forced me to meditate, and it got me out of that. And then now Shiona.
That's what's up.
Got to get the mind right. Got to keep the mind right in these times, and that community and the tribe helps build that immunity for sure.
So I'm just going to break this up for a second and tell you what's happening. So for the shakshuka, you need onions. And for the braised greens, you need onions. I like my onions very caramelized.
What color onions? Are those brown onions that you started with, or red onions?
I started off with red onions and sweet onions. Okay. So I had to pre-cook these beforehand. And now I'm adding my garlic. I love garlic. So for the shakshuka dish, you only need like maybe 2 cloves. I put in 4. For the braised greens, you only need 4. I put in 8.
That means you really need 8.
Yes. So now I'm adding the garlic for both of the dishes. I'm going to try to make both dishes at the same time, because I'm a woman, and women are really good multitasking.
Woman is God. You could do anything. That's what's up.
Right. What else do you guys want to know while all this garlic is?
What else have you been cooking?
I'm also going to, so the shakshuka, growing up, I noticed that my family put sugar in the shakshuka. I'm not a big sugar person because I'm addicted to sugar. So I have tried very hard to give it up.
It is an amphetamine, you know, so it's hard to get off of that. It's hard to kick that habit, like Pookie in New Jack City.
This person's crack. Go ahead.
What's your favorite application of sugar, Michael?
Me, I'd say my weakness is chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies and her banana bread. Her banana bread is I mean, it's just mind blowing. And she makes like a homemade whipped cream with some bourbon. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, I've seen her baking a bunch, and she's like, "Yeah, I can't eat any of this."
Yeah, she struggles. She struggles with that part. You know what I mean? Right
if
now,
you don't,
I don't. I don't. Yeah, no, I have eaten during the quarantine. I have eaten really well
What
during
a
the
blessing.
quarantine.
What a
So,
blessing.
Hold on. We got something.
so I add leeks to my braised greens. Here, let me get this.
Okay.
Fancy onions.
One of the reasons why I add leeks to it is because I grew up eating lots of leeks. Leeks is a very popular dish in Afghanistan. So I try to add it to almost whatever dish I can. Like frittata and these braised greens get them a lot.
You got the good knife skills too. Like all your leeks look evenly cut and rinsed well.
Thank you. I have to give my knife credit to my aunt Alima. I was like her little bitch growing up. My introduction to cooking was my aunt and grandmother's prep bitch.
Auntie.
We agree. We think some people in the comments are saying you need a show. We agree that they need to give you a show. But yeah, tell us about that culinary journey too, because I think it's interesting. Me and you had an in-depth conversation about working in restaurants. Where you from the Bay, New York? Was New Orleans a part of that too?
New Orleans was also a part of that.
Yeah, let's.
I was born in Afghanistan, and then we escaped the country when the Civil War was going to start. And you have two options when you escape. You either go to Pakistan and you end up in the camps, or you go to India and you live like kings and queens in a one-bedroom apartment in like the hood. And we went to India, and it was probably one of my most favorite memories growing up, because India is, as a kid, pissing on the street, it was like I was in heaven. The colors, the holidays. So Indian food is a huge influence in my cooking, and Indian culture is a huge influence in because I speak the language, I still watch the movies.
Still watch
heavy Bollywood in the crib. Heavy Bollywood.
Heavy Bollywood in the crib. I've learned a whole different Hollywood exists. And the movies are kind of dope, but they're like 3.5 hours long.
Oh, it's an investment.
They like what's his name? Scorsese films.
Yeah, it's it's a commitment. You know what I mean? It's a commitment for sure.
No question.
Okay, I'm gonna pause on the history and show you what I'm doing next. Here, let me get the phone. So I broke all the greens ahead of time because it's too much prep work, but I left like a few so you could see. So
is that chard? That's chard.
So I did chard, a mixture of chard and a mixture of kale.
Okay.
And then
kale.
Yes, I personally do not like when the stem is in any kind of greens, when it's attached to the leaf. So I take the stem out like this, and then I chop them because I think they're so tasty, like this. And then I add them after the leeks.
Waste not. Cook those stems down.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them attached to the leaves too. It's like when you do the collard greens, but it's such a satisfying bite when you just get just a straight stem.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Breaks up that texture. Breaks up that texture a little bit.
I love different textures. I love acid, sugar, all of it. But when I was saying earlier, is because my aunt would add sugar and I'm not adding sugar. I am going to add a little bit of red pepper to the shakshuka.
All right.
And we're going to finish it off and have it with a side of caramelized Japanese sweet potatoes and caramelized in coconut oil.
Amazing.
So that's
you said they call you the queen of the sides, right?
Yes, I love vegetables. So most of my cookbooks are vegetable driven, and I wonder. It's so interesting. Everything when it comes to food has to do with where I've traveled to. So after India, we ended up in a little tiny town called Alameda, and it's right next to Oakland. And when you grow up in the Bay Area, produce is like
crazy.
It's crazy. It's like diamonds. And I grew up eating a lot of vegetables, so I love sides. Like I love sides. And
who's your favorite vegetable cookbook author? Like Ottolenghi stuff?
I really like this guy out of Portland. Joshua McFadden. And this cookbook is really good. 6 Seasons of Vegetables book.
Mm.
So he's, I think Portland does like vegetarian and vegan really well.
Because they have a similar amount of microclimates to like they might have more microclimates than California.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I know they grow a lot of great produce in Portland and stuff as well.
They grow some nice weed out there too, for sure. Good
Yes.
climate. Good
That
climate
was
for all of
pretty
that.
much my whole college, 4 years, when my late bloomer Khatira discovers weed. It was really
The Up and Smoke tour.
I think I ended up on academic probation the first year I discovered weed.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
At this point, I add jalapenos.
Mm. So you're
Are we
getting
talking about the greens or the shashuka right now?
This is the greens. You could add jalapenos to your shakshuka as well, but I'm not. Today, I will add another spice.
So by you cooking down all the vegetables, the onions and the sweet peppers, and caramelizing them and using the sweet potatoes, you're getting like that sweetness and that sugar that you would be looking for, as opposed to adding like refined sugars, et cetera, et cetera.
So everyone makes fun of me, especially Shiona, that it's like the worst idea to ask me for recipes because my recipes are so complex and take so long. But it's because I'm not really a big lectin girl because I have acid reflux. So my tomatoes that are going in the shakshuka, I roast them ahead of time and I peel the skin off.
And you got time.
Yeah.
Oh, I got time today. You know what I mean? Like, that's nice though. You can't rush the process.
No. I have so much respect for people who cook really fast. Like I really do. But I didn't grow up that way. Like I grew up where it took 3 days. You started on the 3rd day and then you got to your second. I mean, we grew up eating dumplings. Like if I really had time, I would make mantu or ashak, which are the 2 Afghan dishes that I grew up loving. And we were inspired by China. Our food is very much inspired by China just because of geography. And we have a huge Magnolian population in Afghanistan. So dumplings, we had like assembly lines growing up. Like someone made the dumplings, someone folded out, someone put the water around the edges, someone filled it. It was a huge part.
More hands make for less work, you know?
That's what's up. We got Renee Redzepi from Noma in Copenhagen sending love. We got the homies from Germany sending love. You're getting a lot of love internationally. Renee, we need you and Nadine on here too in the next week or 2. Let's make it happen.
So the shakshuka, the garlic is, breaking down in the caramelized onions. And now I'm going to add my roasted tomatoes that I did earlier.
You're making it pop. I'm just over here watching you like this is like real process, and it takes a.
And I've heard you're a great recipe editor. I've heard friends, and I heard you like the grocery store too, during the quarantine. I heard you got like the yeast. I heard you got the yeast stash because there's none left in the grocery stores. You got like 3 different types of flour on tap.
I live my life every day as if it's a pandemic. And I think it has to do with being brought up in a 3rd world country. Like we left Afghanistan with no warning. And then we left India with no warning. I never got to say goodbye to any of my friends or anything. So there is a sense of like hoarding a little bit.
And staying ready, and also was just staying ready.
Yeah, when you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. You know what I mean?
But I've probably gone to the grocery store 3 times during this whole situation. I go to the farmers market every Sunday.
How many times?
Which farmers market do you go to?
I go to Hollywood Farmers Market.
It's a big one.
She been in the grocery store more than 3 times.
Did she send you? Did she send you to the grocery?
Let me tell you something. We had to increase our storage capabilities when the pandemic happened. I'm just gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, we did. Listen, I'm a survivalist. My job.
Yo, man, it could be a lot worse.
My family is fed.
It could be a lot worse.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be. It's not. We good.
American.
Yeah.
White defense, childhood. Like, it's all good. No, we need to protect ourselves. What if someone attacks us?
No, it's not okay.
It's not okay. So at this point, I can add my herbs. that are going to go in the braised greens. I'm going to add a little bit of oregano. I already chopped it up. It's fresh oregano.
Oh, amazing.
Going
That's some
to
real
add,
California farmers market privilege right there.
it is. We are very, very privileged. I mean, it's so
Fre-
bad that if I don't get a chance to go to the market, I could literally go down the street to a neighbor's house and pick these. Because
California living.
and then a little bit of thyme. And yeah, that's all I'm going to do with some salt and pepper for the braised grains for now. So I'm going to add
Okay.
That's lovely. Yo, for anybody out there who's asking about yeast, you guys could also practice just making your own starters and leaveners by mixing flour and water together and letting them come to life. So if we got nothing but time right now, so practice. Try something new. If you can't get the yeast, if you can't get the active yeast, try to make a little starter. Wow,
That looks good.
cooking.
This
So
was it was really difficult to do this show last week because we were on a juice feast. So like watching people cook while we weren't eating was pretty tough. But now we back in
I
the
just
game.
ate lunch, so I'm good. I got some cornbread in the oven too.
Oh, she knows all about that cornbread. I gotta send y'all some cornbread.
about the cornbread, Michael.
Look.
What's up with that recipe though? Could you slip it to me afterwards? Because that cornbread from the premiere was like
As long as don't leave your crib, we'll make sure y'all get the method.
We'll swing that.
very confidential here. Very confidential.
All right, bet. It's the circle of trust.
So this, the shashuka, the tomato, is just simmering. And at this point, my spice for my shashuka is, I don't know if you could see.
That's harissa?
Yes, it's
Harissa?
harissa paste.
All right.
So this is very spicy for anybody who's not colored.
I was about to say,
For what palate?
like white spice? We talking white spice?
But this is some black and brown spice.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm only going to put just a quarter teaspoon because in case my kids want some.
Oh, they don't like it super spicy?
No, man, they're so American. I wish I could keep it, I wish I could lie to you guys and be like, oh yeah, my kids have like an international palate. But no, these motherfuckers.
You froze. She froze.
They got no respect for their bloodline. None.
Nah, you just gotta hit him with heat
Kind of
and be like, "Look,
embarrassing.
man, drink some milk. give me some
I
milk
the
to cool
only
it down."
thing that I will say is my son loves bread and butter, so thank God for that. Like he appreciates the starting point of a dish.
The struggle meal, so he knows that he could. He'll be good on his own because he could just throw some bread and some butter together and make it through a hard time.
My son is going to be more than okay because I'm married to somebody who doesn't cook, and I'll be damned if I raise another man that doesn't cook in this world. No, he's going to learn how to cook. That is in the most loving.
Shots. Taking shots at you, man.
Yes,
Sorry, everybody doesn't have to cook. We
I
all
know
got our
Mike is
roles.
doing dodging those shots like Keanu Reeves in the Matrix right now.
You see Mike Tyson hit that bag the other
Yeah.
day?
Yo.
How do you feel right now?
You the bag.
Yeah.
He's gonna learn how to cook. That is in the most loving.
So I'm reaching out to you guys now. We gotta switch up.
All right, you gonna switch to yours?
What's that?
You got to turn the volume down on your phone.
All right, we're gonna switch to Michael's account. Everybody stay with. We're gonna get another POV. When we do it with the married couples, we like to switch up the perspective so everybody can get their voice in, Send us any questions if y'all got, and also in the comments, anybody y'all want to see on the show, let us know. Let me see if Michael's in there. It's this one, right?
Man, she was hitting with the left and the right just now.
Is Michael in there? Look, he's like, it's my turn. He's like, I've been taking enough shots.
There we go.
All right, you in the game.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Y'all got different phones.
Yeah, this is I'm an Android, so the picture's better than that.
Oh, it's way clearer.
This is way clearer. It is though. I feel like
Yes, clear. I told you.
We iPhone right too though.
He like purposely wants to be different. Like why? Why do that? The whole
People with
family is on
Androids are
iPhone.
like that though. It's
He's
an
the
Android complex.
Michael's the awkward
It's
one
so
in the
fucking.
group checks. He makes the group checks turn green
Nah.
when he's
You
in the
gotta
group.
It's
talk to
so
him in
whack.
WhatsApp.
It's
All your friends with you on
what's
WhatsApp.
that?
Like yo.
So yeah, I had to stop that one. I had to stop that one. I had to stop it. Where we at?
So at this point, I'm gonna put in my greens that I already washed, and I wash my greens in like salted
February, what
warm
up?
water
Okay.
to get rid of any kind of dirt. Or so now I'm putting that in.
Yo, the Android camera is so clear though. I'm not even gonna
Yeah, it
lie.
is. It is. It looks like I have a filter on.
Change the
It's
game.
it's high definition for sure.
Do you know how complicated it is to send pictures of our kids to the school?
Oh my
Like he
goodness.
responds back, you mind sending it to a WhatsApp? I'm like, you want me to do a two-step while I got two kids at the park because you refused to buy an iPhone.
I tried it. But the picture's better. It's just better.
So I'm going to pour some vegetable stock in my braised greens now
Okay, amazing.
that I already got prepared.
Oh, they want Michael Vittaggio.
So you make your vegetable stock as well? Obviously, you're making everything in the house.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the heat up a little bit so it could come to boil, and then I'll put it in simmer for a couple minutes. Meanwhile, we could check on this, the shakshuka. I added the peppers to it, so I'm gonna wait until it breaks down a little. I'll put a top on it. Where is my top? And then I wanted to show you guys how whatever spice that I am adding to any of my dishes, I don't just add them. I dry, I put them in a pan. What is the proper thing?
I think it's roasting them, right?
Toasting. No, you're toasting them to release the oils, the natural oils. And
Yeah.
the,
So that's
open up
how
the
we
flavor
did it in my
profile.
country, and that's how you do it in India. And I don't understand why every country doesn't do it.
People be in a rush, that's why.
You are right. I sound so judgmental. You know what it is? I'm just terrified of my aunts who are watching this right now and who are going to judge me if I speak anything other than the way I was taught because they are some of the meanest people in the world.
It's probably just their love language, you know? It's like
It
that
is.
tough love.
No judgment.
Oh, they're like the loves of my life. It is their love language.
That's
So
what's
while
up.
both of those are happening, I was going to say I moved to the Bay, and then my dad like started working at Domino's. So I grew up inside a Domino's pizza, and my uncles like had hot dog stands, and my aunts had restaurants. It was like the typical immigrant thing, like you get into food. But for me, I loved it. Like it's my love language, food, and to watch my father, who also loved cooking and making food, I got in it. And then my first restaurant job was Slanted Door, and that's where my love for like anything Vietnamese or Japanese started, and Korean. And then I just worked my way up. I was like the prep girl, to the dishwasher girl, to the girl who like literally was the bar back, and then
You
hosted.
appreciate all the positions in a restaurant then.
All of it. And that's how I met Michael. He was my regular at a restaurant.
Which restaurant was this?
I was working at a restaurant I opened this restaurant called Blair's that's in our neighborhood, the chef of that restaurant, I think he's a master baker. He's a fantastic baker, and he's perfected this like sourdough loaf that is to die for. So I called him up, and he made me some bread last night, and I picked it up this morning from him.
Wow.
For
Amazing.
this dish. I was like, you mind? I want to use, and I want your bread. And I'm that person too. Like once I discover someone's talent or somebody's really good at that, like I want to go on top of the mountain and shout it out. And also like I want to put them in my little pocket and just take them everywhere.
And I feel like you're the same we also have a mutual admiration for art, and especially Black and brown artists that are emerging, right?
Yes. Oh no. Art, food, travel is probably my three loves. And art, to be honest, the way I fell in love with art was political art. Like growing up, watching graffiti on the streets and seeing how people express their frustration to war and corrupt government. It and language being moved around a lot, and even though I speak multiple languages, it's very, very difficult for me to articulate myself because I think in one language and I speak in another. So art was a form where you didn't have to speak and you didn't have to use language. You could literally express all of your emotions and your feelings through this piece of art. And it was the first time I discovered, like, I think my cooking can be art, or this is what I want to surround myself. So I started collecting at a very young age because I just wanted to be around things that expressed what I was going through without me having to use words or language.
That's what's
What
up.
about you? What do you love art?
Uh, it's a beautiful form of expression, and it changes my mood when I see it on the walls. To be honest with you, I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, that looks good. Oh, goodness.
That's Mike's
John, how did
position
you
in the
get
kitchen too. He
into
just be over your shoulder like, yeah, that look good. What's that? Do you get
Yeah.
taste tests? Do you get taste tests?
Oh yeah, I'm the food gimp, and like literally, these greens are like one of my favorite dishes that she makes. And the beautiful thing is that she's actually quite consistent. Like, they always taste good. They've never tasted bad. She always gets it dead right. It's incredible. Hold on.
So for the roasted Japanese sweet potatoes, so what I did was I wanted to like give people an understanding. So you start with this, right? You wash it really well. Then you take a knife or a fork and you just go at it. Like all your fucking frustration of that dude that fucked you up. Or
Let it out.
just kind. And then you cover it and massage it in olive oil. You roast it for 400 degrees for 20, 40 minutes. And then they come out looking like this. But that's still not enough for me. Like, I want it even sweeter because I have my
You
problem.
want it super caramelized.
Yeah. So then I take 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and I put it in a pan. And I let it melt. And then you put it inside down. My kids are obsessed with this.
So
And
your
then you
kids
let
like
that melt.
vegetables. You've
Huh?
cracked the code to getting your kids to like vegetables.
Yeah, they're obsessed with green beans and frozen peas for whatever reason. And they love broccoli. Yeah, they're good to a certain degree. They're still kids. So there's
Well,
Right.
still
we
that.
actually have a similar technique with roasted sweet potatoes. We do something like that. We roast them around the same temperature until they get nice and soft. Like when you can squeeze them in your hands, they basically be mush. That's what we cook them to, and then we pop them in a dehydrator overnight
Ooh.
and allow the some of the moisture to come out, and for even more of those like natural sugars to to develop, and then we drop it in some coconut oil as well, just to get it to another level. But you right on point
So
with that. I know that's gonna be good. I'm hungry. Damn,
so
I just ate
now
and I'm hungry
the
again.
the spices are cooking. This almost everything I know, they come from my restaurant experience. Like I've watched some chef do it, or I've watched one of my girlfriends do it. And these sweet potatoes, that I have to give shout out to Chef Courtney, who's the head executive chef at Johnny Vinny, which is a restaurant here. This is her trick. She's the one who
Okay.
got.
Okay.
Shout out to Courtney, Chef
And,
Courtney with the isms.
and shout out to John
Yeah.
and Vinny. Those are the homies. Didn't we
Yeah.
get BJ to Chicago, get some hot sauce at our dinner
Yeah,
in Chicago?
yo, BJ, we
BJ,
gotta
how's
get
that
you on an
hot sauce?
episode too.
And we saw Melina's in here. We got to apply that pressure. Stop stunting, Melina, man. You got to keep it real
Melina.
for the BX.
Yo, she's the secret weapon, that one. She is
And
such a
have you
homemaker.
seen her? She's been taking her food photography. Have you seen her food photography for Chef Lisa and the
I hate her,
Tacos
man. She's fucking
Negros?
good at everything. That girl is good at everything.
It's that North
She,
Bronx. It's something in the tap water up there where we from.
yeah, it really is. Um, Speaking of art, I do want to say that for a long time, I only collected people that I can, that were like up and coming because that's what I could afford. And I, till this day, still like sit with that blueprint because I have no desire, and I know that I can speak for Michael, we have no desire to ever sell. So I don't really care where your fucking career goes. As long as you pursue what you love and you love art and you're going to do it for the rest of your life. And if you don't do it for the rest of your life, I don't care. What I care about is that this piece you made, I love, and I'm going to own it for the rest of my life.
Right.
And I think it's important that my kids, like when you talk about when I'm around, and John, you and I have talked about this, we're around, collectors and galleries, and they don't take me very seriously because I'm new, and I'm not a celebrity, and I'm not white, and I didn't grow up with the pedigree of being around art. So another reason why I'm never going to stop collecting is because I want my kids to be surrounded by people, A, that look like them up in our walls, and B, understand this part of this world that I don't think was easily accessible for us. So that, and I want to give a shout out to this, talking about a young up and coming, Sophia. I will add her IG handle, but this reminds me of my daughter, and that Cinderella or Snow White looks obvious, but she's really, really talented. So I love supporting her. And then this new piece that I got for my birthday from Michael, because for my birthday and my anniversary, I don't ask for anything but art. Like I don't ask for diamonds. I don't ask for nothing. All I want is an art piece. So he got me this one.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
I can't see it. You
Oh.
got
Is that Ferrari?
Ferrari, yeah.
That's strong.
That's beautiful.
And we got February James in here too. She was commenting earlier.
She's so dope. She's like beyond dope. And we have a few of hers, but I'll leave it. And then I guess you and I share this in common.
Oh yeah,
Amawako.
Amawako.
Amawako did a painting, and he did a portrait of me. I
Oh,
He did
yeah?
a portrait of P.
Yeah, he did a portrait of me. I have it. I don't have it though. I need it though.
Wow, you're a lucky man.
I'm
And then
not
another
that lucky
favorite
because
of
I don't have
mine
it.
Well, you've been
is Hank
memorialized in the
Willis
art
Thomas.
camp.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Somebody gonna have me on their walls.
That's Hank,
Can you
right?
see this one?
That's
That's
Hank
Hank.
Willis, you said? That's the homie too.
I love Hank. Like, and the other thing that Michael and I have made like a commitment to is we really want to make sure that the people we collect are nice people. Because I don't want an asshole on my wall. Because I gotta look at you every day, and if you're a fucking dick and pretentious, like I'm not.
That's not the
And
energy you're trying to keep.
no, I'm not. And Hank is, I mean, like, I think Hank would give away his art for free if that was an option.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Hank is a cool cat for real. I'm trying to go to Trinidad with Hank.
And Rue.
Talk
And
about
Rue.
Trinidad.
Shout out to
Play,
Hank and Rue.
and play
Yeah.
some
Shout out to
carnivals.
Hank and Rue. Trinidad is beautiful, man. I've been there 4 times.
For the
Can't go
carnival?
wrong.
He has a type.
Stop.
And
Stop. Stop. Stop.
yeah.
Trinidad is beautiful. Carnival is incredible.
You show this.
You gotta do it at least once. Okay.
So you don't want to just caramelize the bottom. You want to make sure the skin is caramelized as well. So you just what's the chef word for this?
What's the word?
What's the chef word when you do this?
It's called arroz.
Arroz.
There you go. Go ahead. Now you can
Make
talk
it
about treat.
pop right now.
Damn, I want this. I want to eat this
For
right.
real.
When we able to come outside again, we definitely all gotta break bread. We'll bring the cornbread.
We can
Probably some
congregate
gelato.
and it's all safe. Yeah, for sure. You guys are gonna love it. Trust me. You're gonna love it. Watch
Talk
this.
about Trini.
Hmm?
Talk about Trinidad.
Yeah, Trinidad.
The food, the people, everything is wonderful. Had a lot of good times down there. Glad I did it when I was young.
Facts.
I follow.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. My family's from Barbados, so I spent a lot of carnivals and kadumats with many things, holding wines and whatnot. And times have changed a little bit now. Especially they canceled Kadooment, the crop over this year, so there's no carnival in Barbados this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's
I heard that one is like next to Trinidad. Like I heard it's like Brazil, Trinidad, then Barbados.
Yes,
And then
correct.
Carabana and Toronto.
There's different levels, you know, because everybody,
Yeah.
each culture kind of does it a little different. Trinidadians, they go for weeks and they wine real nice and whatnot. Bajans are just like whatless and aggressive, you know. It's like
just 1,000 days.
Yeah, you can't take more than a day of that shit because your back is gonna be hurting. Your hips can't take it, man.
Yeah. I keep telling her to go to Trinidad Carnival before it's all said and done. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's an experience that she'll never forget. You know, I'm like, go with your girls. You know what I mean? Go with your girls.
Have fun. Yeah.
You
It takes a toll on the body, though, for sure.
What's that?
I said it takes a toll on your body, the Trinidad
That's
Carnival.
what I'm saying. Like, it's days and days.
Yeah.
And, you know, the lines and the fed after fed. And let's be honest, I mean, breakfast party.
Cooler fets.
Breakfast party is epic.
Drinking.
It's epic, but you don't sleep for like 48 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I gotta get out there. I've been meaning to get out there.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I got in before it got popular, but you still gotta go. You still gotta go. It's incredible.
I remember from the Jay-Z Big Pimpin' video. That's the first time I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, it looked crazy out there." So.
Yeah, I went before that, so it blew up after that.
Copy.
It blew up after that, but I mean, it was so much fun. So much fun. And it's like, you know, a cultural thing. It's not like, you know, nobody's popping bottles and stuff like that. It's like it's actually rooted in some culture, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's
maybe a long neck bottle or something, but that's about it. There's no sparklers.
I'm gonna add a little bit of saffron.
Where's that saffron from?
So this one's from Iran because my girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend Claudia had just went. No matter who goes anywhere in my groups of friends, they bring me back saffron. So she brought this back from Iran.
Amazing.
That's like gold right there. Some of that we had.
We see Rue's in the building. What up, Rue?
Yeah.
Shout out to Rue.
That saffron has got a high ticket price on it, man. That's good.
Yeah, P got my saffron hostage at his crib right now. I had a friend bless me with some Iranian saffron because the family has a farm out there.
John didn't know what to do.
Spice bag, by the way, wasn't enough, so there's all this over here. But this is the saffron she got me.
Oh, that's like let me see the side of it. Let me see the side.
That's
the same one I got.
That shit is expensive. That's like $2 right?
I've never had to pay because they always come from different countries. Like I have some from Turkey, and I have Morocco in here as well. All the places I have yet to go to, and yet I have them.
Gotta put it on the list, man.
What's on your list of like where you want to travel? Oh, Hank is in the building. What up, Hank?
Hey.
What up, Hank?
Oh, that man.
Shout out to Peaches.
Can you actually show them the Hank piece that he involved us in? Like the piece of art?
For Freedom.
Oh, are you in the For Freedoms joint?
Yeah, we did it for Freedom's joint. And it was really, really special. It's about freedom of fear. Here it is.
Oh, fire. That's the whole fam.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's the first time I ever showed my kids on anything. And it was it's definitely worth it.
No, that's powerful. So we actually did a dinner with Hank for Freedoms when they were first launching it. This is before Trump got elected. And we created a dish, P created a dish based off the freedom of fear. And it was like our spin on the fear of black bodies. So it basically was an apple pie deconstructed, but with a chalk outline, basically saying like, the destruction of black bodies is as American as apple pie. That was
Apple
like
pie.
the
Yeah.
commentary for the.
Yeah. 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 Remember those days? Woo.
John, you're an artist.
You know, I'm a social sculptor. That's what Hans Ulrich called me. I'm running with it.
So I made a little puncture to the, like, you know, the little holes. Can you tell I can't speak the language? And now I'm just going to crack the eggs. These eggs are really beautiful. They're from the farmer's market, so they're all very colorful.
You setting the standard. Elliot, what's up? Tell
Yeah.
JP we said what's up, man.
We've been. Ruth, she's making shashuka, and she did her famous greens and also some yams.
Some Japanese
Alana's
yams.
in the building. Hank said he's been
Alana,
saying that.
happy belated birthday, Alana.
Word, happy born.
That's my sister's name. What's up, Alana?
I'm going to add.
Alana and I, we really got close on a ski trip. We were on a ski trip together. Like we were like one of 3 black people, and it was Montana, and we learned how to ski together. We had the Melton Ski Club. It was me, Alana, and you know Sameen from Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat.
Alana's in love with her. Like absolutely, she said that she's
I
one
think
of
we're
the
all
kindest
in
human
love
beings.
with each other. That's like our group. That's our crew. We got to start making some merch for the Melanin Ski Team.
Yeah, when the episode you did with her, it made me feel close to her because we both are love for this.
Oh, we love
that chili oil.
Ah.
That Szechuan chili oil.
Yes.
I honestly
we need some. We need some in the Grand Cayman. Right.
So good.
I'm sure we have plenty.
And Melody's in the building too. Melody was in the building. I think she's still here.
Melody's still here?
I think she's still in the
Shout
building.
out to Melody.
Ugh, my heart.
Nice.
Now I want to eat everything you're making right now.
Yo, honestly, it looks amazing.
So everything is already like it's. I want to.
That shot.
Yeah. So
The steam coming out.
I want to. Normally, if I had more time, this would sit here on slow simmer for like 45 to an hour. But because of time, if you have this much liquid, it's really easy to get rid of it. You just put it on high, and you watch over it. You don't walk away, and you just stir, and the sauce will.
The liquid will evaporate.
Thank you for the language.
Got you with the language.
Melina, Shiona just tapped in, and Melina wants to see the food. She says she's so hungry. She wants some food close up.
Melina, stop pump faking. We need you on that
Do you know
episode.
that
Melina playing a lot of games.
during the game of, you also don't want to put the lid back on because that will just bring back the steam. So you keep the lid off and you just watch it. During the Game of Thrones season, we had like this thing where we would go to Melina's house for Sunday night and she would make us something different the whole season. And it was, and I'm sure you guys know, like for somebody who cooks, not a lot of people cook for me because they're always like, oh no, like what if you don't like it? Or they just don't know how to cook. And to have Melina cook every Sunday during Game of Thrones, it's like, it's certain memories that's going to stay with me for the rest of my life.
Such a blessing.
I'm still waiting to taste her curry crab that she be talking about.
She made that one night.
To see what it's hitting for. And Melina, you asked
so
what she's making. She's making shashuka, her famous greens, and yams. Melina wanted to know. Yeah, we all need these recipes too.
With a little bit of that bread from the homie down the block.
Marshall. So the eggs, I cover them. I sometimes will, usually I'm making this in a cast iron skillet and I'll just finish them off in the oven on the broiler. But today, because I had the time, because I needed this to cook, I'm just going to put the top on it. And also, I'm not walking away from this. I'm going to stay because eggs can cook really fast.
So fast, yeah.
I don't like overcooked eggs, which I think you do, right?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
When I first met him,
promise.
he was the guy that like we would go to restaurants and he would say, I want my steak well done, and if it's not well done, I will ask for you to take it back. And it was those moments where I asked myself, are you sure you want to be with this person? But I looked past it, and now he likes the shit medium.
Yeah, I evolved. I evolved.
It's all about growth, man.
Yeah, man. You know, you grow up, and you eat it a certain way. You eat it the way your family eats it, right?
Right.
And then you grow up. If you don't evolve from that, you know, that's on you. But I learned a lot by watching her. I learned a lot from um, tasting her food and the food that she's exposed me to. So it's you know, I've definitely changed. I've definitely changed. And now
That's what a
I'm
good
much
partner's. That's what a
more.
good partner's for, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
brought that
We
to my
not.
life for sure. She brought that to my life.
I'm just getting some garlic ready for the bread because we're going to put a little bit of garlic on the bread. I just want you to take a look at this garlic. Look at how beautiful this
Yeah,
is.
does it have like hues of purple in it? Is it?
Yes,
I don't think we would have
yes.
been able to notice that detail on the iPhone. Shout out to the Android.
Wow. I see where your loyalty lies.
They
I'm on
know.
team. I'm team Apple all day. You know, we did Johnny Ive's birthday party in London, so Androids ain't sent us no bags yet. So we definitely team Apple all day.
Nice.
And Michael, where did you grow up, Michael?
Me, I grew up in Maryland.
All right.
I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland, and you know, everything was pretty normal, kind of a Huxtable upbringing, so to speak. Um, you know, and I was blessed. I was very blessed, to be honest with you. I can't claim I'm from the streets. I don't claim I'm from the streets. Uh, but, you know, I definitely did not have the same palate I have now, for sure. For
Amazing,
sure.
amazing. A lot of
Yeah, but
crab
it's
though out there in Maryland. Heavy crab.
I'm allergic.
Oh,
It's like blasphemous, right?
that's rough.
Yeah, but I did learn about Old Bay, and I still put Old Bay on everything I can now because
We got to make
it's
like a
still.
healthy version of Old Bay, call it New Bay, BAE.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I made him yesterday. I made him some like KFC inspired potato wedges, and I put some Old Bay on it, and he was
Gone.
with some chicken wings, air fried chicken wings,
Oh,
and
that's
it was
Oh,
we got
to set you
appliances
up with the
coming out in the
appliances
fall, so
soon.
we got to
Yeah.
send you like the air fryer, our waffle iron.
yo, yes.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
appropriate. It's appropriate.
Yeah. We'll take that for sure.
So I just want to show you guys. This is where it's at now,
Ooh,
and
that was
you would
good.
a little test that I do. I don't like my whites, so this one's still too watery. So I'm gonna cook it a little bit longer. But with eggs, even if you turn it off and you plate it, it's still cooking, like you guys know. So
It carries
you
over, yeah.
don't overcook it. The greens are pretty much done. So if you could see, most of the liquid is gone. And at this point, even though we just got rid of all of the liquids, you know what I did forget? I forgot to put time in my shakshuka. You think
It's
it's
all
too
right.
late?
No, it's
Nah,
never
it's
too
never too
late.
late.
Never too late. We always got time. Got time for that for sure.
This
Everybody,
thyme
I
is
think the
so
jury
good with
agrees that you need a
tomatoes.
cookbook deal and you need a show.
For
After
sure.
A show, somebody who can't speak the language, I can't
It's
even
nah,
fine.
pronounce it.
you doing a great
You
job.
speaking that language for sure. Look at
So
the
now
food.
I'm gonna add red wine vinegar to my braised greens
A little kick of acidity.
and
Vinegar is amazing.
mirin
Okay.
because
And
I
mirin is
will
Japanese
any
white rice wine, right? It's like cooking
so
rice wine.
any excuse to add some Asian
Infusion.
infusion because it's what I grew up and it's what we are. So so this is done. So I'm
Damn,
just
those
gonna
greens
let
are
it sit. And honestly, I kind of top it off with a little bit more olive oil
Blip, 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 blip.
to finish it off.
gotta do it.
That's appropriate.
Facts.
I'm gonna finish that.
That's really
Now
right.
this is so. Let's go cut some bread so we can get our bread ready. Look at this bread.
You got it wrapped up real nice.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that
it's
looks
like a
nice.
nice miche.
I mean,
Low.
he needs to. I can't believe he doesn't have like a bread business.
Oh, he should.
He really
Looks
should. But if
really good.
anybody out there that wants to try this bread that lives in Los Angeles, you could order from Blair's and they will give you half a loaf with your order.
Oh, you giving them the cheat code?
Yeah.
Damn, that
There
bread is
you go.
proper.
Yeah,
Damn,
you
that
can
bread is
hear it with the
good.
cut. You can hear that
The
crunch.
crunch, yeah, you can hear the crunch, the crumb on the outside, the crumb on the inside. I mean, oh man.
I mean, it's incredible. So I bake my own bread, but in order to keep a starter, it really wasted a lot of flour. So I got rid of my starter a long time ago, and also I gained like 20 pounds.
I'm
The
gonna try and
quar- the
cut
quar-
gluten. I'm gonna try and cut gluten
the
for the rest of the
the
month of May.
quarantine 15, as they call it, right?
So this is, I'm gonna turn this off now, and the way I warm up my bread is I put them over my stovetop.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh, all
yeah,
right. I
y'all got the
respect
hacks. Y'all
that.
got the hacks.
Because it's the way we did it when I was growing up. So in Afghanistan, the house I grew up in, there was a bread oven in the basement or on the underneath the house. So bread is a huge part of my upbringing, and I'm really they were so ahead of their time because they had heated tiles even in Afghanistan.
Wow.
We
Well,
need you. We need you on another episode of Gastronomical Cribs. This is amazing. Like you probably like, to me, you probably the baddest cook we've had on here. I'm not even
No,
gonna
you
lie.
had what?
I'm
And
not
then
even
what
gonna
you do
lie.
is while the bread is hot, you take a raw garlic and you
just hit it with the
And you
raw.
just hit it with that and let the oils come out. The garlic itself will break down.
yep.
Man,
That's fire.
you got the. Man, I can't even speak. Fire.
And then so you
Give
plate.
give Mike a little sample. Give Mike a little sample plate right there.
Yeah, yeah. What
He's
he
been such a
said. What he
studious. He's been
said.
such a
He's been
studious
a
cameraman.
good cameraman. I know his arms got to be tired.
He has, man.
I'm just gonna tell y'all straight up. This is one of the first dishes she made for me when we started dating, and it was a signifier of things to come. Trust and believe. I couldn't believe how good this was the first time I had it. I was like, I mean, it's just eggs and tomatoes. Like I couldn't believe it. But like she just, it was,
But
she
it's
hit me
not
with
though. It's
that
more.
phone
It's more than
call.
that. She got love. She got a
It
lot of
is.
love that she put into that.
Yeah, it's definitely the language.
And now I want you to look at how the Japanese sweet potatoes have come out.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's
So
a
the
nice.
skin
Yeah.
is really crispy,
you
and
went
I mean,
crazy.
I like it almost like where it looks burnt. But he likes it less. And then we're just gonna finish this off with a little bit of spring onions,
You win. Oh, in the light. Yeah, in the light.
like, and a little bit of cilantro.
Can Melina
And if
come
you
over to
want
take the food photography after?
to put some fat, I need Melina here.
Damn,
Yeah. Sweet.
you went crazy.
And then so you take your bread. I eat with my hands. So you just
This is
do
amazing.
this.
I can't.
That's so good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Sure.
Feed him. Feed him. Feed him.
And I'm just gonna feed you. So
Oh,
put the
me.
camera on you.
Okay. All right. Is it hot?
No.
Uh-huh.
Amazing, yeah.
This is my favorite part of this whole process.
Very
Wow.
rewarding.
Yeah. This is how she got me. Here we go.
That's amazing.
Oh
Yo,
my
So
this is
God.
look,
beautiful.
thank y'all for being with us today.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
before we sign off, I'm gonna just tell you what we need from you. We need like a food photo with y'all holding a dish, like after we get off. And then we just need you to do the gastronomical crib sign off, which is basically you introducing yourself and saying that you're on gastronomical cribs.
Yeah.
All right.
You do that right now?
Yeah, because you finished, you
Yeah, you
did
go
it.
first.
Oh no, hold on. You know what we gotta talk about? We gotta talk about.
It's gonna cut us off. So I think.
But we do. Let's talk about. You were talking about this organization before we sign
Oh
off.
yeah.
With
Yes.
the
So a few of my friends started this organization called Alliance of Moms. And what they're doing right now is they have a campaign they're selling T-shirts that says "Mother Up," and all the proceeds goes to the foster care system.
Los Angeles has one of the biggest foster care systems in the country. And what I did was I came on a little bit later, and with the help of them, I started a program called Raising Foodies.